big guns, big missiles, big planes, big boats.
Are you
So
wearing headphones?
yeah, I need to get out my headphones.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you talking
Uh,
underwater.
hold on, let me get out the headphones real quick.
Semper Fi, Ronnie.
Hey, Semper Fi, brother. How
What's
are
going
you
on?
doing?
Yeah,
It's been a
am I
minute.
clear?
Been a
Yeah, you
minute.
are, Jody.
Appreciate it. So with asymmetry, modern warfare is fought a certain way. But if you're a country that cannot fight that certain way, then you have to fight how you need to fight. It is atypical or asymmetrical to what modern warfare is perceived as being fought. And yes, I was in the military. I was in the Navy. I was serving the submarine force. And you're right. You can't afford to continuously build and shoot these Patriot missiles, these other interceptors at a million or 4 million.
It's I'm reading some of these numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hello.
this phone's picking up. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad, man. This Bluetooth is killing me, man.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot going.
America's going to run out of these interceptors. Okay, cool, thank you. America's going to run out with of these interceptors. They that they have been also given to these GCC countries, such as Qatar, such as the UAE, such as Bahrain and Kuwait. So now you're running out. You can't continuously do what you're doing by destroying Iran's perceived nuclear facilities, bombing Tehran and other facilities. And what they're they're bombing American uh, for some reason I won't say the word campuses, but bases in these GCC countries. But they're also bombing strategic places. I'll give you an example. In the UAE imports 80% of their food and for their water to feed all those to feed and drink all those people, they have desalination plants. So Iran is bombing that, trying to destabilize that the UAE, Dubai, and all the other five emirates have been trying to build. So Iran is really destroying the perceived sheenness of the local area. And I'll just stop there. I don't want to continue and hog up all the time.
You said they're destroying the perceived what?
Goodness.
I guess we could continue, but what do y'all think about what he was saying? Because yeah, it is breaking up. I don't know if he needs to get off the Wi-Fi or what.
All I heard was he was a hot racker. Thanks for your service, Mr. Joey.
Yeah, thank you.
I wish he could have finished his point because I could have jumped on that. If something came to mind, but it skipped over me. But just to jump in on safe areas or places. I mean, Austin, you've been to Europe plenty of times, so I'm sure you know some safe places that people can possibly go there. But you guys named Singapore. I don't know if you did Malaysia, Thailand, Japan, Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, any of those places.
Yeah,
Those are
I
all
mentioned New
areas.
Zealand.
Yeah. New Zealand, Australia are very nice, modernized. Everything that you got in America, you got in New Zealand and Australia as well. The
But
people are
Australia is the cocaine capital of the world now.
Yeah, I mean, we have that in America, so you're not giving up much. you know, the trade-off ain't that bad. You know what I mean? But it's still a decent place that you don't have to worry about maybe the long reach of a war. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing. It's not just like America is so isolated. You're looking at New Zealand and Australia being isolated as well.
But let me ask you this though. Australia has always been a long time ally of the U.S. So doesn't that make them vulnerable?
It does if somebody feels like they could be a possible threat, but that's the other thing. Iran itself with its missiles can only reach out so far and touch people. Yeah. So then you have to look at China and Russia getting involved. And I was just watching some stuff on TikTok and some other things where Russia and Russia and China might be friendly to Iran and actually support them in selling them things, but that's where it ends. It ends with the money. They're not willing to get into a full-off frontal assault with America. The same thing with Venezuela. Venezuela was being built up by China. They were given military naval armaments and different things like that. But once America dropped the hammer, it's still a long reach to get over to Venezuela as Chinese and whatever they have. And before, like we even know with American borders, we can see you from a long way off. You got to pass Hawaii and everything else to get to the West Coast. And then in turn, you got to go through the Atlantic Ocean and everything else to get to the East Coast. We can see you coming a far way off. So we got a long reach. Yeah. A lot of these countries don't have the reach we do. And that's why when we do bomb things, we look at how far is the reach of that missile. Even with North Korea, when they were doing the missile testing, it got touchy because they were doing what? Long range missile testing. That's when we were like, nah, you looking at possibly reaching us now or reaching some of our interest points, So at that point, they're looking at, no, you need to cut that out or we're going to have to do something. Yeah. And even North Korea knew better than to keep pushing that envelope. And this is what some of the issues are with some of these countries is they want to push the envelope so much because we do have that good guy role on a global perception that they don't think we're going to do anything. Unfortunately, Donald Trump can overstep and he drops a hammer quicker than most. Let's put it that way as a president.
Yeah. And I would agree because again, you look and here's what I was talking about earlier, Austin, is that the Venezuelan play was a chess piece because now it impacts Cuba and it also impacts Mexico and it also impacts Colombia. Now, you heard the Mexican president was spouting off for a minute. Venezuelan president was spouting off and the Colombian president was spouting off. Their tune changed overnight because the United States went in and in 30 minutes, they took a sitting president of another country out of his country, he and his wife, and put him in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just simply saying that
it's still impressive. It makes you take a double take it. Like, I don't want to push that button too often.
Yeah. And you don't know what weapons are being used, right? Because again, even though we're talking about drones, I don't know if you all heard that the United States uses now a microwave weapon that is on board ships now. And so they were able to destroy, I think it was 60 or 70 incoming drones with a microwave pulse. We also found out that there was a new weapon that Israel used, a laser directed weapon to bring down the missiles. And so again, when you're talking about asymmetric warfare, you're also talking about you're bringing new weaponry on board. And so with proxy wars, you're able to figure out whether your weapon systems work by having other types of interdictions. Venezuela found out very quickly that the stuff that they bought from China and that stuff that they bought from Russia did not work. And so from a war manufacturing perspective, that's another area that people don't. Buying and selling weapons is big business. And so now United States manufacturers can go to these global symposiums and say, look, our weapon systems work, theirs doesn't. And so as the person said earlier, the military industrial complex just got richer. And so if you're looking to do investments, You know, this is
Oh,
where
you're
you go.
absolutely right. A lot of these skirmish wars are really R&D for a lot of these countries. They want to R&D a lot of their armaments to see if they're going to work. So even when they're giving out things, they're doing it an R&D thing. But the brother did touch on something about us overextending ourselves with our weaponry. And I always thought this might be a strategy of China. When we were helping the Ukraine, we were giving them a lot of our bombs and a lot of the things that we had in storehouses. If we overextend ourselves with our weapons, when China decides to finally make their move, whether it be here in the Philippines, because they're looking at the Philippines and some other choice places that they want to invade, where are our resources are going to be as far as what we have left over in order to start or defend ourselves and our own interests? You know, if we're worrying about taking care of everybody else's interest as well. You know, China can produce more bombs with the Chinese steel in Russia than we can by production wise. They produce more per month than we can. So as we go into our storehouses and start depleting our resources, they can still produce. And even if they're not accurate, they can produce more. And that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of their stuff is not as accurate, but they can produce more, so they have more to waste.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, when you look at Russia at the end of World War II, they had a lot of bombs, but they don't have to be accurate. They just have to be powerful. I mean, as you said, just blow stuff up, right? Which brings me to a point that you make. One thing we never discussed is Guam.
Yeah, I don't like to mention them that much, but yeah, that's also one of our cases. Yeah.
Why don't you like mentioning Guam?
Because it's a hidden gem. No, I don't want a lot of people to know. Guam is almost exactly like Hawaii. Literally, looks like it, feels like it, everything. And it was even
like us.
It was even bombed too before in World War II. They have ship memorials too because there were ships right there in Guam. Yeah. So as we pulled in a port one time when we were on float into Guam, it looked like we were pulling in the port of Hawaii. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it's a hidden gem, and it's a forgotten place. It's beautiful.
I literally have a Guamanian in my unit, so I couldn't figure out this kid could drink. I'm like, what the fuck? This kid could drink his ass off, and this is when I was real young. So we finally pulled into Guam, and I saw like it was a U.S. territory, all this, but the alcohol there was dirt cheap. I said, now I understand. Your ass has been drinking since you were a kid, and the alcohol is so cheap, y'all just got used to drinking it. Faster. It's insane.
Also, I want you to go to Guam, man, so you can do a report on it for us, bro.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go to Guam.
You definitely.
Yeah, I think on the way back, whenever I'm going back to the States here in a couple of months, I probably could stop there on the way back.
Yeah, I would love for you to do that, man. You know, I live vicariously through you, man. I'm just letting you know, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm back on the road now, man. I'm trying to decide, am I going to go back to Africa from here or no, I'm not actually. No. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go to India.
Ooh, that's touchy, bro.
It's going to be hard because like
how are you with extreme circumstances, really? I mean, like comfort level, all that stuff. How are you with, not having a lot of amenities?
I mean, I could deal with it, but my main issue, I can deal with bugs to a certain degree. I could deal with blackouts. It's annoying as hell, but I can deal with it. I could deal with the water going out. Not really, but I could deal with it. I've had that issue, and it was like, okay, I can't even take a shower unless I go buy some water now. But I can't deal with sanitation. The sanitation in here in Asia in general, but here.
What about aerial smells? Because I'm sure you're used to that in Africa, but I mean, India is a whole nother level too.
Well, I know from being in Thailand and Vietnam and Cambodia and here, like the smell is different, just because it's more smog in the air. It like after you get off of a tuk-tuk or a motorcycle, you can smell it on your face now. And Africa is not really like that. It seems like the air is a little more, well, actually a lot more cleaner. But yeah, with them with their sanitation, like
Mhm.
just sneezing everywhere and coughing everywhere. And I seen a lady 2 days ago peeing on the side of the road, and she was washing her hands with the pee as she was peeing. I've never seen that.
It
I'm
is
I
actually sanitary, but it's insane to see it.
That's not called
yeah,
recycling.
yeah, I don't know. I wish I would have never seen it.
Multi-purposing.
Yeah, but she did that, and like again, they'll do stuff like that and just go straight to the kitchen and make your food. No hand washing, nothing. Uh
There was
so
there was a question in the chat. No more Z.
no, 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 no. I'm trying to get her to come with me now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to get her to come with me now, but
that's
she
the
has a
whole
job.
idea. That's the whole idea for you, Austin, is really living vicariously through your lady, because you've experienced a lot. For her to be able to go with you, she's going to be experiencing a lot of things brand new, never done it before in her life. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I'm so happy for you, bro. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta talk to her parents and all that to be able to get her to
see,
travel.
that's why I already know you got a good lady. You're already going through the family, bro.
Yeah,
That's the key right there. You know, you're with a woman that has good family morals and values, and the family actually cares about her. You got to go through that family.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass getting her to Nairobi. You know, it was a lot just doing that. So to be able to take her with me several countries, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Well, that's an interesting choice of word. Pain in the ass. Why was it a pain?
Because
This
I'm
is
just
something.
used to
Yeah, it's
like if you're dealing with an American chick, you're like, hey, just meet me over here. And as long as you buy the ticket, they going.
Okay.
With African chicks, I guess most other women, you got to jump through hoops, filters. You got to go through um, a bunch of what is the word I'm looking for? A bunch of
Screening and
protocols.
evaluation.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 most definitely.
I mean, that's a good thing because I mean, when you think about it, I mean, what a father wants to put a prospective suitor through screening and evaluation to make sure that his daughter's going to be
As
safe.
they should, as they should.
Yeah,
That's a sign of a good quality family. I'm just telling you. I did the same thing here when I met her family for the lady that I'm with here. You know, went through the whole process of meeting the family and getting to know them and them getting to know me. So, I mean, when you're with a good family, it doesn't matter whether she's from a big city or a small province area. That family has to be involved.
correct. Yeah, so that's what's up next. But I think with her, I would do so much more of traveling around Asia because again, traveling throughout Africa it just doesn't make sense. You'll go broke. You'll go broke trying to travel throughout Africa. I did a video. I'm gonna drop it today. Actually, the one I was talking about yesterday on live. I'm gonna drop it today, where I was talking about. Yeah, if you got $12,000, that's 12 countries. If you got $12,000, you're gonna hit about 60. What is it? 64 countries in Asia. You'll do every country there with $12,000 of flight money only, flight money.
Oh, you
But
can
in
get
Africa,
away with a lot.
yeah, you'll be in China. You'll be in Hong Kong, Macau. Japan. You'll be able to go
Especially if
everywhere.
you guys do know about the VPN game, right?
I've
When you
tried
buy
it. It hasn't
tickets,
worked for me yet.
yeah, when you buy tickets, switch your location with your VPN. You'll notice the rate drops. They know
Somebody
you
told
from
me,
America. You try to book from America, you're gonna get American rates. But if you book from a VPN located in a different country, you get a different rate.
what app are you? I mean, what? Yeah, what
I'm
third
using
party?
Nord. I'm using NordVPN.
No,
Nor
no, no. Like, are you using Booking? Are you using Flight Scanner?
If I can go directly through the airline, I go directly through the airline.
Okay,
I
I
don't
haven't
use
tried that.
every once in a while I'll use booking.com or some other agency. Like I'm a AAA. What's it? Yeah, is it not AAA? The old people. What's it? What's the one? You know,
AARP.
hey, thank you. AARP. Once I hit 50, man. Once I hit 50, I took advantage of that AARP because you can book hotels for no money down, different things that can cancel at the last minute. So ARP globally gives you an advantage too. So, but you older guys, listen, I know this is Austin's channel, but and then you old guys up in here, get on AARP as fast as you can, because there are some advantages, especially in travel, hotel booking, planes, anything you can do on a regular booking, you can do through AARP.
One of the now, I mean, I'm glad that you brought that up. But one of the things that I think is important that we all kind of understand is we have to be able to play the currency game to perfection. You know, currency arbitrage is real. It's a real thing. Being able to change and what banks you use, right? Right now, what's very popular is NU. It's NU. That's a Brazilian bank, and I don't know if that's spectacular. I mean, it's incredible. I like it better than I do Chase Bank at this particular point. If you can use NU, because again, it's Brazil. And what's interesting about South America, I would think that Brazil would be another country that would be somewhat safe in terms of a global World War III. Because it's now becoming one of the top banking regions in South America. So being able to move currency from one place to the other during different types of actions is very, very important.
Yeah.
I'm looking up the flight thing that you were saying, Rona, right now. So from here to Istanbul is 271,000, which is $873. And let me try what country do you use for the VPN?
Typically, because I'm in the Philippines and the peso has such a good exchange with a lot of countries, I do use locations like the Philippines or Thailand when I start booking.
Okay, I did the Philippines. Let me see. So it's
and he just dropped. I think Todd just dropped something in the back chat that you might want to click on too.
Yeah, I sent that to him directly. I put that in there for you.
Oh, okay. I'll copy that one down and take a look at that one too. But
yeah, you'll take a look at where most of the flights are and what's not being flown in at this point.
Yeah. But here in the Philippines, I can fly in there. I mean, truly, the VA is in Manila. I live a 50-minute flight away from Manila. I can hop on a plane at least twice a day. With planes coming into where I'm at, I'm 5 minutes away from the community that I have a lease with in the house. I'm 5 minutes away from the airport. There's 2 flights out a day, 2 flights in a day. One from Cebu, one from Philippines Airlines. Barely $70 will get me a round trip ticket there and back. You know, so.
Do they still have? Do they still have basing there in the Philippines? I remember Manila used to have.
Well, Cebu is. I mean, not Cebu. Sorry. Jesus Christ. I'm on the post. Subic. Subic Bay is reopening. They're digging it out. They're actually putting huts up. They're building or revitalizing some other bases. They haven't mentioned whether they're going to open Clark, but because of everything that's going on with China, obviously there are Marine and Navy bases opening back up. I don't know about the Air Force, if they're just going to use the naval aircraft carriers for that part of it. But you know, China is building their own little islands all the way out into the national shipping lanes over here, and there's always an incident of Chinese like Coast Guard running into Filipino ships on a regular basis. So we have sold them. The U.S. has sold the Philippines a lot of our ships and have built ships for them to combat that.
And that's, again, that's another reason why you have to play in Iran. It's another reason, because again, because China is trying to colonize the North China Sea. They're trying to, like you said, they're building their own islands, but they need fuel in order to do that. And so they were buying at least 55% of their oil that was coming from Iran. And so now if you cut the production from Iran, and then you also have better relationships with the other Middle Eastern countries. I think it was the Abraham Accords was one of the things that was just created, I think, about a year ago or so. All of those different things are, again, playing chess as opposed to playing checkers. And I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it. I'm just saying that what we have to do is kind of look at things from 1,000-foot level and make a decision with integrity as to how we will respond to that. Is very important. What's also important, I think, is not to get caught up in the politics, not to get caught up in not liking this person or not liking that person or whatever. I mean, we have to make decisions and looking at the entire spectrum and how it impacts our lives.
Yeah. He said nobody's checking for South Carolina.
I've seen that.
I mean, America's America, and I say this all the time on my lives, and me and Fearless host a couple of shows together. And the biggest thing I say is, even though I'm here right now, I'm not staying here. I still plan on going back to Texas and leveraging my advantages as a veteran and buying land there. So I will have multiple locations globally that I will be able to go to, but I'm not turning my back 100% on the United States. There's too many advantages as a veteran. I don't pay property tax in the state of Texas. So once I own the land, it's not like they can come and reclaim it, because, the biggest saying is, even though you own land, you don't really own land because you're renting it. You got to consistently pay taxes.
You have a Lloydal title in Texas?
Huh?
You have a Lloydal title in Texas?
Well, I don't know what the title is called. No, see, that's the other thing. When you buy land in Texas, there's two titles. There's the land and then there's the mineral rights. A lot of people in Texas will sell you land, but they won't give you those mineral rights. They will come back and dig underneath your shit, even though you're there. But they'll do it in a diagonal way. They won't come on your land. They'll come just adjacent to your land and dig up underneath where your land is.
Horizontal, yeah. But I just want to be clear. You're not simply saying United States. You're saying Texas, the state of Texas.
Texas and some other states that are basically beneficial for disabled or 100% service-connected veterans, right along with veterans that have retired. They extend certain benefits. You don't pay property tax. You don't pay state taxes. They help you out with certain things. So I'm leveraging that as an American to my benefit. Now, obviously, that's an asset and a resource that I can pull from, even if I brought in Texas.
You born and raised in Texas?
No, I'm a Baltimore, Maryland dude, man. I'm from the DMV.
Okay.
But originally, I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. I've lived in about 15 states before I decided to leave.
But you're a resident of Texas?
Right now, yes, I'm a resident of Texas.
So you're a Texan?
No, I'm transplanted. You see that KC behind me? That's the state I lived in the longest. KC in California. So,
well, Kansas City.
I will never claim a Texas.
Kansas City is not a state. Anything. Kansas City is not a state.
Well, Kansas. Let's put it that way. I'm a Kansas resident. Kansas City is the city that I rep. But yeah, Kansas is it. That's the place I've been the longest, beside for California, after I was in adulthood. So, yeah. That's where my base of morals and everything else came from. And I'm kind of happy because Baltimore went to hell in a handbasket after we moved out of there. And I lived to upstate New York, Fredonia or Philadelphia. I've lived in so many different states. I've had a good mix as I was growing up before I even got in the Marine Corps of different mentalities, And even when I moved to the Midwest, I talked so fast. It taught me to slow down, even in the way I communicated, because people in Kansas looking at me like, what the hell did he just say? It's like I was talking so fast, it was like I was speaking another language to them.
But even if we're talking about, again, World War III, and there are particular states which are going to be safer than others as well, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially ones that have missile silos and everything else that are known to have, the unique thing about Kansas and Missouri is they have huge underground limestone caves, naturally not even man-made, but natural formed limestone caves. Matter of fact, a lot of the Hollywood movies and everything are stored in these limestone caves. It's literally an underground city between Kansas and Missouri that is actually set up for taking in people if there was going to be some kind of a nuclear attack.
Yeah, and the further out you go, the more sequestered you become, right? Because
I would say go to Montana, go to Utah, go to the Dakotas, somewhere closer to Canada. Two reasons why: because one, they're so secluded in some of the things in the cities there are. It's real quick to just jump across that border to Canada, and I don't think anybody's going to give a damn once there's a war. Get what you can get.
Right. And I think that the majority of people live, 80% close to the coasts. So if you go out,
well, they live in the cities out of comfort, convenience, and everything else, but the cities is the quickest way to get you killed. I'm a prepper by nature, and I've always been somebody that camped, hunted, fishes, and all those things where it's survival. And even the lady I'm with, the way she grew up is almost similar to the way my mom grew up, chopping wood, cooking on an open fire, all these things, man. In Philippines, you have an indoor and an outdoor kitchen. Mm-hmm. A lot of these people are used to cooking outside, off of a campfire, off of wood, Well, when the power goes out, you don't have gas, you don't have a lot of different things. You better know how to survive.
Yeah.
And the cities is the worst place to be when shit like that goes on. Look at New York when the power went out there. It was fucking bedlam. If you were in the city, people were starting to get a little desperate once the power stayed off for a while.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, when you talk about modern countries, modern cities, when the grid goes down because of war or what have you, how are you going to survive? How are you going to live? I mean, Can you live off the land? Right. In to Austin's point earlier, he talked about South America, Uruguay, Chile, people are accustomed to living off the land there.
Those are good places. Yeah. And they're not somewhere where they're going to be targeted as some place to drop a missile on top of. You get what I mean?
And you're not going to be a flying cream. Someone says, actually, Ronan, the cities are the best place. Military would go there to protect the money. Out in the countryside, which is, I lost it.
Yeah, but you're only going to be able to stabilize an area for so long with law enforcement and everything else, because then it becomes self-preservation and survival. A lot of the unity, when it goes out the window once people aren't getting a paycheck. If it gets to a point where there's EMPs, there's no money, and you're really on a barter and trade system, where's the loyalty as far as being a cop? Now it becomes who's the strongest, survival of the fittest, who has the resources. People might save, maybe have bullets and everything else, but they never trained to use a gun. So then those are the ones they hit up in the city. They take all their armaments. They're dead. You got all their resources, and now you're just trying to conquer certain areas that you can hold on to. So it's the city is the worst place. You're getting it from too many angles. The type of land I want is where even my house is going to be set back on my property. You're going to have to drive over a hill to get to me. You get me? So I can see you coming a long way off. So if I have to pull out a gun or aim down on you, I got plenty of time to get to my resources to protect myself and my family.
And that's probably another thing that we didn't mention. What are gun rights in whatever country that you're living in?
Right. See, in the Philippines, I can't own a gun as a United States citizen. Only Filipinos can.
Yeah, and here in Colombia, it's interesting. The only people that can have a weapon are the police, but they operate on human rights. So a
Right.
police officer cannot pull his weapon and shoot someone, and even a criminal. Even if they did that, they're going to be taken to court and possibly tried based on human rights, because they said it has to be equal. Armament has to be equal. If someone pulls a knife on you, you can't pull a gun.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, see, I've been taught in certain ways of having a weapon even when you don't have a weapon. Go get a big bolt or a nut, put a string through it, tie a knot on it, and a deck cord is a string that I'm talking about.
mhm.
That becomes a weapon. You can swing that around and really take some people out with just random tools that you can buy in a hardware store.
Yeah.
You can always arm yourself after you land.
Yeah.
In certain ways.
Yeah. But I like pistols.
Oh, I mean, given a choice. I mean, come on now.
I like reaching out and touching. I like to reach out and touch someone. I don't like.
One of the things I wanted to learn before I leave. One of the things I want to learn here is Filipino martial arts. They're good with stick and knife fighting, up close and personal, and to a point, like Eskrima, and up to a point where they've actually beat down Krav Maga.
Really?
Yeah, they're actually already known as being better than Krav Maga because their techniques change. Just like Krav Maga is a system that was built by the Israeli martial arts or Israeli fighting forces.
Special forces, yeah.
Filipino martial arts has been passed down over generations of trial and error as well. Now, Marine Corps obviously has their own martial arts that is also being translated the same way, but Filipino martial arts has been around for a long time.
It goes to the culture, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. When you're looking for a place that you can live during war or when bad things are happening, you have to take a look at the culture. How do you blend into the culture? Because again, like we said earlier, if you stick out like a flying cream, you're not safe.
Right.
You're just not safe. And so I wanted to ask you then too, in terms of blending into the culture in the Philippines.
I'm 6'2", 285 pounds. So I'm a big ass Filipino. Let's put it that way. But I'm telling you, when I was here, when I was younger, I used to have a lot of older Filipinos. They would speak Tagalog to me because it looked like I belonged here anyway.
Okay.
Matter of fact, her family is darker than me. They're part of Igorot and other things as far as their culture, the Visayan. Their skin tone is different. And Filipinos, because they were colonized by Spanish, also dye their skin out of shame or not being proud of their melanin. Plus you have the Eta people who are one of the strongest indigenous people by genetics, even stronger than the Aboriginals of Australia when it comes to their lineage, their genetic traits. But I blend in here. It's not a problem with me blending in. I'm a bigger dude, but at the same time, my skin tone and everything else, I'm not that noticeable. My truck has smoked windows on it, so you can't tell if I'm driving or my father-in-law that would be driving the truck. You get what I mean? So at that point, it's you pick and choose your battles. But I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle here that I just brought, and it's smoked out, so you would never know. And even the identifiers on there, I put the Filipino flag on it, so it looks like a government car because a lot of Filipinos can't own certain type of cars. It just costs them. So even with that, I put like a Filipino flag on both sides of the front fender, to kind of make it look like it's a politician's car. So people look at it and they kind of step away from it more so than wanting to approach it because they don't know who owns it.
So usually the politicians don't have police escorts?
Not really. Not like you would see like in the movies unless they're really like actively in service. But, a lot of them try to go low key more so than, bolstering themselves.
Like here, I mean, a politician.
Here's the thing, and it's funny because they have so many trikes, so many motorcycles here, kind of like a lot of the Asian countries are. A lot of people don't own cars or even trucks or trucks that are of a certain type. So my lady and her father, they'll ride around on the trikes and stuff. She has her own trike and different things like that. So when they ride in the trike, they notice the difference. The guards and everybody will look down to them, kind of snub their nose at them. They drive my truck. All of a sudden, it's yes sir, no sir.
Mm-hmm.
This is a classism thing too.
Mm.
So if they see you riding in a certain vehicle, then it's something. Then if you're riding a truck, you're just a normal person that might be poor. But if you're riding that truck, it's yes or no, sir, because they know most of them can't even afford that truck. You know? So you are looked at different depending on how you come in.
Yeah.
I won't even drive in certain parts of this city in the province. I let her father drive the truck. I just ride.
That's smart. That's smart. So
might-
Austin, how do you blend in with the different countries that you go into? What is your strategy?
I mean, number one is always learning the language. I don't know if one of y'all said that already, but if you go to anywhere in Brazil, you have to learn the language. I mean, if you're in Colombia, to actually assimilate, you're gonna have to learn the language. Luckily, in places like Kenya, they want us to learn Swahili. You don't need to learn Swahili. All the signs are in English. Like, you're not gonna miss out on anything by not knowing Swahili, but it would be better. That's the first step. Second step, and I said this before, which was having male friends, not just female friends. Having male friends makes you blend in better because all the American tourists go there and just have female friends only. All of them. So having male friends instantly sets you apart and puts you in different scenarios that you wouldn't be in otherwise. Meet different people that you wouldn't meet. You know, new opportunities, everything else. I mean, women can only present so many opportunities. So, and I mean, I haven't done anything like you've done, like open up the, what did you say you say football?
Yeah, I have soccer. I have a youth
Soccer.
soccer team. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you have a soccer team. I don't have anything like that I've done. But I've been to Kibera. I forgot what that area was, somewhere far out west outside of Nairobi, where the guy Troy that I hang out with, he's very involved in those type of community services and stuff like that. And I've done videos with them. That kind of, I mean, it's kind of more so community service, I guess we could say. Let's say doing community service, having male friends, and learning the local language, and actually exploring the city and not just hanging out. For example, if some people go to Medellin, they'll just stay in El Poblado or whatever the other one is, rather than exploring the entire city.
Yeah, it's good to be ingrained in the community. Here's the thing, and I don't like talking bad about countries, because especially when I'm here. If you stick out too much, then you become a target. So even if you're in the community and doing things, like my lady does community service, she works with the orphanage that was here. She was always going up in the mountains and dealing with the Eka people. So we'll be going up there doing something with them over the spring and summer. You know, but at the same time, you want to give, but not too apparently. If you can go through your lady to do it, then do that. But also, like you said, it is good to have a good circle of friends, you know, and build a circle of trust. And obviously, sometimes that's through introductions, through her family or people that you know that you trust. But you do still have to be leery. You are still top 5 to 1 percentile of earnings in a country, in some of these countries, as an American. That's male or female. You know, so when you come into these countries, they know you're an American. You are still at the 5 to 1 percentile of earners per month in these countries. So you can still be set up as a target on a long game. So you do need to know whoever is in your circle of trust is somebody that is trustworthy.
Well said. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get people all the time asking me for money.
All the time. Yeah, my lady, her friends all of a sudden started coming out the woodwork, and she was like, "Oh, I ran into a high school friend of mine." I was like, over a couple of weeks. Then the next thing you know, she's asked her for money. I'm like, "Did you give it to her?" She goes, "No. Why would I do that?" I said, "Exactly." They realize you have an American boyfriend, and they see maybe the car or truck that you're riding in, and all of a sudden they start formulating, okay, she has money or expects money, so let me start hitting her up to see if I can bum a couple dollars.
Right.
You know, with never the intention of paying back.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not. But I mean, the interesting thing here, the reason why I like Colombia a lot is because unless I open my mouth, they think I'm from Brazil or they think I'm from the coast. They think I'm Colombian. The difference is when I open my mouth and I have a different accent.
Exactly.
Then they say, well, then they ask me if I'm from Brazil. I tell them I'm from Russia, and they just get a kick out of that. You know, so it's the important thing I think is, you know, like we said, there's really nowhere to hide 100% of the time if you're with World War III, but we have to do the things like a prepper would. You know, if you're abroad, you know, where are you going to go? Right. Like the idea is, you know, you want to be someplace high, right? So that you can see people coming. I like being here in Bogota because number one, we're at elevation. And number two, there's more mountains that we can go to, you know, relatively quickly that around where we are. And the higher up you go in altitude, I believe the safer you're going to be because it's challenging to get there.
Yeah.
So,
believe me, I wouldn't have brought a truck if it wasn't 4x4. Because it does flood here. You do have to climb mountains, and it's like I said. I'm happy with the fact that I know the lady that I'm with is well connected in this community. Her family is respected. They try to get her father to become the barangay captain because he's so well liked in the community that everybody wants him to be a leader, even though he's refused it several times. You know, so knowing that you're in with a good family helps. And that you can leverage when it comes to certain things where you would get the gringo tax, you won't get it. You know, especially if you allow them to do certain things for you. You know, instead of you trying to go out and say, "No, I can come." No, you need to step back every once in a while and let them work for you. That's the point.
Well, let me ask you this, because I saw a video that Austin did one time in terms of police corruption. In terms of them just whooping on people. Do you see that in the Philippines as much as Austin has shown that in parts of Africa?
Say that one more time. I missed that first part.
When you just see the police just whooping on people for like whatever reason, you know?
I mean, you can tell that, and you know, I watched this series my lady told me to watch, and I kind of got the idea that, you know, depending on your classism, you look down on other people. So at that point, a police captain or a barangay captain or somebody would have a certain elevation in the community, and you not necessarily as a general populace, they don't necessarily respect all your rights. You get what I mean? They will pick on you when they want to pull you over and run you up on a ticket because maybe your tag or whatever is expired. They do run the same kind of things where they have checkpoints for the police here in certain areas. So those are certain things that people look out for on if you ever driven in the Philippines, it's nuts. They don't have traffic lights unless you're in the bigger cities. There are no traffic lights. People get in accidents all the time. They just pull you off to the side of the road and you pray that the ambulance will come get you. You know what I'm saying? It can be bad, man. You just, like I said, you put your life in your own hand in some of these places you go to. Definitely make sure you have insurance, both types, not only health, but life insurance, repatriation insurance. So if something happens and you die, your family can get your body back. You know, those things are important no matter where you go, especially as a solo traveler.
I've never heard of repatriation insurance. That's interesting.
Yeah, repatriation insurance is in a lot of policies, but you got to make sure it's there, especially for expats. A lot of people die overseas for whatever reason. You do a lot of dangerous things over there, but repatriation insurance is an important word, has to do with body recovery. It can cost up to $70,000 to ship a body from a country back home. Repatriation insurance is included, and it will get you back to your home on record.
Yeah, Kings and Dream says salute to my younger bro Austin. Big up my guys Todd and Ronan. Thank you
What's
for the
going on,
$5
King?
super chat.
So
We're gonna wrap up probably in like 10 minutes.
so Austin, did we help did we answer your questions or help you with what your expectations were for this live?
Yeah. I definitely appreciate you showing up. Yeah, I think we answered it like in the first 5 minutes. Like I think when you first started talking, you answered. I was looking through the questions I had, and I was like, "Yeah, I think he already said everything."
Yeah, I mean, I just want to tell you, man, that I respect so much what you do.
Thank you.
You know, the chutzpah that it takes for a young man to leave his country and to go abroad, and you doing it at such a young age. I'm envious, man. I am very envious because I didn't have the courage to do it until I was my early 50s, right? But you to do it when you're in your early 20s, it's remarkable. And I've also watched your maturity over time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I appreciate that, man. I just want to say that you never know who's watching you, so you always have to be careful because you never know who's watching you. And I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate your growth. I appreciate your development, your maturity. You are an inspiration for young YouTubers like myself. And I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep growing, keep maturing. I'm happy that you've found someone that you enjoy spending time with, and I wish you great success with that. But also, I want to let you know and remind you that you are the prize.
Oh, thank you.
Don't ever forget that. Right? Because and this is going to be very controversial. A lot of people of the finer sex believe that they're the prize because they carry the seed, that they carry the child. But just remember, no tree has ever been planted without seed.
Yeah.
So you're the prize, my friend.
Yeah, most definitely.
And a lot of these countries, they know you're the prize. That's the whole thing. I don't know how
Yeah.
people can get ganked by these girls because they're so mesmerized that it's a beautiful woman, but that beautiful woman also knows you're an American. You are the prize that they don't have access to on a regular basis. And there's how many of them competing for your attention, not the other way around. You're not competing for hers. They're competing for yours because you're not a widely available commodity when you're there.
And you don't have a shelf life. You could be 100 years old and still be able to do a little. As long as you stay healthy, you'll be able to do something.
We were just talking about Dr. Sabi the other day. That man had 20-something kids, man. That brother was still doing it until the day he died. Depending on what your health level is, you ain't gonna just stop. And we age like fine wine, where women have to hold on to their beauty and their negotiating tactics. You as a man are always constantly evolving, earning more. You have highest earning potentials because of your life experiences and everything as you get older. So you can only get better. They're holding on to their best.
Yeah, but you gotta maintain your health, though, man.
Of course,
you got
that is definitely important.
I mean, I used to see you working out in the gym, man, but I don't never see workout videos now, man. What's going on, Austin? I mean,
I think I'm about to do that now. I'm about to take my phone with me and do an IRL stream. That's where I'm about to go now.
Because I mean, I see you trying to hold on to your guns. I see you, man.
Yeah. No, I still go to the gym. Yeah.
What you benching now?
I've never kept track of that. Like I never have kept track of my bench. My progress with that.
Okay. So with your workout, I know you do abs. I mean, that's one thing. I don't see you doing anything else, but I saw you doing you were doing the what is it? You were hanging and doing the abdominals. I saw that one time. I think you were
Oh,
in South America. I don't remember where though, but I saw you
yeah,
doing that. Smart
I
fit.
stopped doing abs.
You say you stopped doing abs.
Yeah, it's too much work. I be too tired afterwards.
Yeah, I figured, man, as long as I have broad shoulders, I don't need abs.
Yeah, the rest of the body makes up for it. If you get wide shoulders and you
For real.
everything else, the abs is okay to miss out
I
on.
got broad shoulders. It looks like I got a V taper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
It
are you
just looks
jumping
better
rope?
when you do.
Are you jumping rope?
no, I hate cardio. I do stairmaster. I jumped rope for like maybe a week one time, and I just can't. I'm not good at cardio. Well, I don't want to be good either. Like I don't try it.
Well, when you come back to Colombia, meet me here in Bogota. I'm gonna take you up Maserati.
What is that?
Maserati it goes up to about 10,500 feet, and it's 1,500 steps. It winds up the mountain, and so I do that 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'd be down to try that for sure.
Yeah, but we'll go slow because the higher you get up, the air gets thinner.
Mhm.
And then when we get to the top, we'll do like 200 push-ups, and then we'll ride back down.
He
Yeah, that's
said
a lot.
200 and ride back down. He said we ain't walking back down after that one.
Well, I walk, but I mean, if I'm gonna be, it's gonna be his first time, so I mean, we'll ride back down. I mean, I usually go up and then I walk back down.
Yeah.
You know?
My knees are shot. I can't do none of that right now. You know, I have a torn meniscus on one knee. The other knee's been shot for a lot of years. So I've been around and around with the VA about surgeries. They're like, oh, we're going to give you 2 robo knees. You just let us know when you're ready. But
hey man, I mean, I know a lot of people that get hip replacements and stuff like that. They're good.
I heard the knees are really good, but I'm just not ready to go through that right now, that evolution. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no, I do a lot of core. I do a lot of kettlebell and core work. So, and then I walk.
So how heavy are your kettlebells?
40.
So you do farmer's carries with it?
Either that or I'm doing more squats and core swings and different things like that. There's about so many different exercises you can do with a kettlebell.
You getting back to your killing form, ain't you?
Well, I get leaner. I mean, I had a lot of weight to drop, bro. I mean, I have been as high as 6'2" at 360 at my worst. You know, my fighting weight when I was in the Marine Corps was 6'2" at 155 was when I was boxing and in martial arts. So, you know, my comfortable weight is about 215 to 230.
Where you
But
at
any
now?
leaner than that, I would look like I'm a cancer patient anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just too big.
Where you at now?
Right now, I'm at 285.
285?
Yeah.
Austin, where you at?
I think 190.
190. How tall are you?
5'11".
Man, you an NFL corner.
I was at 6'2", 190 when I was boxing, but I noticed I was training for Golden Gloves right before I went in the Marine Corps. And coach, I was looking at the coach. I was like, Coach, these kids are 190? He was there. I said, how much were they weighing before? He goes, oh, well, they cut from 225. They were looking like monsters. I said, Coach, you got to tell me what's the weight class I need to be in to be that monster, right? He goes, if you can drop from 195 to 155 in box, you'd be that monster, especially at your height.
At 6'2".
Yeah, and I dropped the weight. But my recruiter misheard me. I said, look, I got Golden Gloves in March. I'll go in May.
Wow.
He ignored everything I said and put me in on my recruitment day of March. So I was in the best shape of my life when I went to Marine Corps boot camp. Wow. My DIs were looking like, what the fuck were you doing before you got here? Boxing, martial arts training. I'm a fighter. Always been a fighter.
Wow. When I got here to Colombia, I was 5'10", 265. And now I'm 5'10", about 213. But at 63, I'm trying to get down to 180. I would like to get down to 180. because as I get older, I don't need to carry all that weight, you know. So jumping rope helped me. Jumping rope saved my life. If you guys, Buddy Lee, if you guys look him up, Buddy Lee, jump ropes. Buddy Lee came here to visit me twice here in Colombia. I'm telling you, man, that guy, he was an Olympic athlete. He has his own jump rope. He travels the world. Buddy Lee saved my life, bro, by using his jump rope. I got like 3 or 4 of them. Incredible. And he's he needs that AARP card too, man. But he's traveling the world, and you know, he carried the torch, and I think what was the Atlantic Olympics were 96. That was the Atlanta. So he carried the torch then, but that jump rope is no joke. But you know, Austin said he don't like cardio, so
I can do it. I hate it though.
So how do you eat though?
I mean, I eat a lot of. I used to do the carnivore diet. I don't do that anymore because that's what I'm doing. I'm cutting, but I overeat protein. Like, you know, when I was in Kenya, I would eat like 3 or 4 boiled eggs a day, or or fried, 2 steaks, and a lot of potatoes and a lot of spinach.
So is food relatively inexpensive there?
Yeah. $500 a month, and you are overeating for sure.
Wow.
Way overeating.
Yeah,
but not here.
Say again?
I would rather cook here.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying I'd rather cook here because, as I told you, they're nasty here. They're very unsanitary. So I'd rather cook it here in Sri Lanka. There's a kitchen above my room. They have a kitchen on the top floor, and I can just hear the guy coughing. I just look in the kitchen. He's just coughing all over the food and sneezing. And I'm like, dude, like, why? Why are you doing that?
And you want to go to India? When?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I'll be eating at the Hilton Hotel if I go to India. I need to have the best possible result that they're sanitary. That's what I do here. I go to the nice restaurants. I'm like, I know for a fact the people on the street ain't their fingernails all black while they cooking. Like, nah.
Are you a germaphobe, man?
I'm a germaphobe, but like they're just nasty. It's not even because some people.
When you realize how many times people touch their face and then try to touch your food and everything else, man, you're very conscious about that shit after a while. And especially if you've seen, like, this is just so people understand, I do know about fitness. I've never been a guy that allowed myself to get to a certain weight, but I did suffer from PTSD, and I allowed my body to get into a point where I've had to recover from it. But I was always a physically fit fighter.
That's a big weapon.
that was a souvenir from the Palaka Islands during the Gulf War.
What is that?
That's a Russian machine gun.
Okay. And you holding it with one hand. I see you, man. I see you, Rambo.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm 58, by the way. So just to let you know, I got a lot of life.
You still got the taste of
a lot of wear and tear on my body. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I'm at the VA now.
I said you got this. You still got the taste of milk in your mouth. You're a young man.
In that picture, I was 21, maybe.
Where was the float?
Another one. Oh, that was right there. We were the first ones in the Gulf War. We were doing missions way before the war started. We started off in Hong Kong. We were already in deployment. So the minute Saddam went into Kuwait, we started doing ship interdictions because we had special operations capable. We had Navy SEALs, we had Force Recon, all that on our ship. So we were operational the whole time. Yeah. It got so bad that they started calling us Raiders of the Lost Ark because our 5 ships were moving around so much they couldn't keep track of where we were.
Yeah,
we had so many missions on task. That's why I said before they even started the war, we had already liberated well, captured, liberated, whatever you want. Saddam had basically landmined this island of his own troops in. They couldn't leave. We already blew up their boats. So we literally had to go de-landmine the area that we wanted to go into and pull these guys off of their own island.
Hmm.
So those are some of the souvenirs we pulled off of these guys as we got them off that island.
Interesting.
But yeah, man, as I said, it's just a blessing, you guys. You don't understand, just to be alive at this age, to go through a lot of different things. And I'm sure everybody has their own nightmare stories, even as a young person. But each survival is another life lesson to understand you're here for a purpose. You know, until you achieve that purpose, there's no place or time or reason of when you're going to go. You know, so.
But that brings a different perspective as well.
Yes, Panama, also Beirut. I went in right around the Panama Beirut situation. I went in 1987. That was in 1990. So I had already been in for 3 years.
And so when hostilities started in this current theater, having had the experience that you've had, what was the first thing that went through your mind? Because one of the things that many people don't know, they hear about it, but they don't know what goes on before the actual news comes out. So what what went through your mind when the actual news came out?
Accuracy wise, they reported everything that's supposed to be happening, that was supposed to be happening. They reported. Other than that, they're pretty good at controlling what information gets out and what information does not. I would say the government's very good at giving you exactly what
They're
you
very
need
good
to
at
get.
propaganda. Yeah, I agree with you. Very good at propaganda. But
even back then, and this is in the 90s, so you can imagine now, 2026, how much better they are at controlling the news.
So I ask you again. From what you know and experience, I'm not asking you what happened. I'm asking you what did you think? I mean, I understand what you're saying from a propaganda perspective. I get that, but I'm asking you for a deeper revelation for myself and for people who are watching Austin's channel.
I can say this, as far as my experience, I was relatively a very intelligent guy. My major was architecture. I dropped out of college because my high school sweetheart got pregnant and went into the military. Okay, so I thought I was a really intelligent guy. It wasn't nothing you won't get by me. I didn't realize I was literally brainwashed until I was in this situation here. Okay. I was not thinking about catching a bullet. I wasn't thinking about dying. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about going home. Mm-hmm. And whatever that took for me to do, I was going to do. So it's a mental switch where you don't think you know what you know until they put you in that situation. You ever hear every 10,000 hours that you doing something, you become a professional at it. They had us doing things so much that repetitiously that you would do things and you wouldn't even think about it, just out of reaction. That's how much they had us programmed by the time and it was a 2-week shipping thing from Hong Kong into the Gulf of Oman. And then doing all the ship interdictions before the war started, we were doing all these things. So all the while, we were learning how to do dust initiator bombs and household products in order to make bombs if we were going house to house in a city environment. They taught you literally everything, silent kill techniques, you know, where to stick the knife in order to get the greatest reaction as far as death. They taught you all this. So by the time you were in that area of the theater of ready to fight, you weren't thinking about anything. Mm-hmm. All you were thinking about, whatever the mission was, you weren't get it done. Were you worried about getting shot? No, you weren't. Even when the bullets started flying. And I think they kind of got that used. You get used to that because if you guys were ever in the military, when you go to rifle training and you go to shoot your rifle, half of you are in the butts area. The butts area is where you pull the targets. I think psychologically, you're also being programmed to get used to impacts. because you hear that impact of that round going through the target and into the berm. Sometimes it hits the wood, sometimes it hits the metal that's holding the target. So you kind of get used to hearing that impact of bullets flying over your head, literally just from that.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you get in theater, it's kind of like you're kind of hearing the crack or the supersonic sound of a round going over your head. You're kind of used to it a little bit. I didn't realize all these things put together made me not that fearful, but really like zeroed in on what I'm supposed to be doing. And then through training, you just react. You don't think. So you don't start thinking until after you get back. That's why the PTSD hits you, because they start programming. You're not sick until you're dead. You're not tired until you're dead. Rest when you're dead. You don't complain about when you're sick. You don't get to go to the doctor as often. You do whatever you need to do to overcome that pain, and you keep pushing forward. Matter of fact, my unit's famous line of what that unit was is whatever it takes. That was my unit insignia, whatever it takes. So they trained you that way. It didn't matter what you had to do to achieve that mission. Whatever it took, do it.
And so, Ronan, I asked this particular question because, again, to kind of be in line with what, Austin wanted us to talk about. That type of mentality is something that I believe that most people need to somehow integrate. That you do whatever it takes in order to survive, knowing that no place is 100% safe.
Exactly.
It's
only as safe as you make it.
Yeah. And so when I tell you my response, because not being in the US and when I first heard it, I said, there's so much that's not being mentioned, right? Because in order to have this precision strike, it takes a certain type of mentality of individuals to execute it, right? When you're sending an airplane with ordnance that's 6,000 miles away and it's a 36-hour trip, that's a certain type of mindset, right? So, and I'm thankful that Austin had this show, because a lot of people will have an opportunity to kind of rethink their positioning, because a lot of people, whatever side of the political aisle they're on, they're going to have different kinds of emotions. And if you have different kinds of emotions at this particular point, you're going to make poor decisions. They're going to get you in a lot of trouble. So it's very important that you take the emotion out of it, and that you have to do whatever is necessary in order for you to survive, whether it's to be liquid, have money available under your pillowcase or wherever, right? You got to have cash, right? If you don't have cash, you got to have gold and silver, right? Much like what you do as a prepper. And I'm sure that these are some of the things that you do. Certain countries don't allow you to have gold, right? Certain countries, the value of their currency is, it is what it is. So, this
Philippines is a heavily gold. By the way, the fact that you brought that up, Philippines is heavily golded. They have a lot of gold here, and they still mine for gold in the waters and everything else. So gold is a big thing here in the Philippines. A lot of them buy it because they know it can be used as an exchange value later.
Yeah.
So when you come to the Philippines, it's real gold that you're buying. It ain't no fake mixed up whatever. It's 100% gold.
And I think personally, and this is just a Toddism, I think things are going to get worse before they get better. I don't know if they're going to get better. I think that it's just a new way of living now. I think that, because no place is safe.
I left May right after Donald Trump got into office, and it was planned purposely for a reason. His second time in office, he don't have to worry about burning anybody's bridges. He can burn them all down because he ain't going to get reelected again. So he can do whatever the hell, however the hell he wants, as long as the economy, as far as the global dollar when it comes to U.S. standing against everybody else, I don't care. I just didn't want to be in the United States for the time that he was in office. So I planned it specifically to be out of the country, literally a couple months after he came into office.
Well, I'm about to wrap up here today. I gotta run some errands, so I appreciate y'all coming through a lot. Thank you very much, because yeah, I couldn't have did it by myself for sure.
Well, you know, like
No
I
problem.
told you a while ago, man. Anytime that you need me, I'm here for you, man. Because I support what you're doing, and I'm living vicariously through you, man. I'm like, hey, we in Africa now.
Thank you.
You better than me, man. I don't think I ever make that trip. I'm just saying.
To Africa,
Yeah.
it's worth it. It's very well worth it. I'm still thinking about going back now, but I need to take a break still. So, but yeah,
I have a friend that lives in South Africa. You've been to South Africa, right?
yeah, like 4 or 5 times.
Okay, because he's been asking me to come there, and I know that's a long trip.
You taking wifey with you if you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, she's Colombian, man. She's not gonna let me go on a